Hello.
How you doing? Good to be here. This is dope.
So, how's it been performing? You were in Denver this summer. How's it been
Yes.
playing these classics again?
It's cool. It's the cool thing is to see fathers with the kids. You know, it's because at one time, hip hop is either kids doing it, then they leave the room and the fathers do their thing. And it's almost like kids now they go see Drake and Young Thug. And then, the older people wait until, Slick Rick and Daylock come along. But when Run DMC takes the stage, you see the families together. Because a lot of kids go, man, I was 2 years old when my father played circumcised. Or, I was 7 years old when Walk This Way came out. So most of the kids are coming to see what all the hoopla is about. And then the fathers and the mothers and the grandfathers come to, reminisce.
That is great. Now, I'd imagine it would be an emotional experience for crowds because on one hand, they're enjoying these songs that they love.
And it's no Jay.
And on the other hand, there's no Jay.
Yeah, it's
Master
weird. Jay. It's weird.
What's it like for you?
It's weird. It's like weird. And, I think so far our first show since Jay passed away was the Made in America 2012. We did Made in America, Philly. And since then, we've done 1, 2, 3, 4. We've probably done like 7 or 8 shows. It's weird.
A mix of emotions, right?
No,
why is it weird?
weird?
It just feels strange to not be up there without him?
Right. Yeah, it's very weird to me. It's just really weird.
At the same time, I know you have the energy to perform. So that's never gone, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's the crazy thing is the audience is singing along with you and all that. But it's weird because it's like we're doing the same thing but without Jay. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird to me.
Do you think it will ever be not weird at some point?
Nope, it'll never not be weird. It's because it's weird with Run DMC. It's like people. The thing that brings it down to earth is I describe it like this: when you come see me and Run now, you're not seeing Run DMC. You're seeing Reverend Run and King DMC, the two guys that used to be in this group, come do a song. It's almost like, yo, last night I saw McCartney and Ringo, show up and do it, but it's not the Beatles. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's weird. Because we can't be Run DMC without Jay. The hits is there, the show is there, the classic is there, but it's weird.
That only makes sense. You spent a lot of time taking stock of your life. You've written an autobiography. You had the VH1 documentary, Searching for Your Biological Mother.
Right.
You reconnected with your childhood passion of comics.
Yes. All of this stuff is coming full circle now. It's crazy.
Yeah. What have you learned about yourself through all this stuff?
Oh, that's a great question. I've learned that creativity is the building blocks to your soul, especially creativity that is not dictated or has a direction. Now, I did the comic book because before hip-hop came over the bridge from the Bronx to change my life, my existence was school and comic books. I went to Catholic school my whole life. So for me growing up in Hollis, Queens, New York, it was kind of horrible. And the reason why is Catholic school kids wear uniforms. So my house was on 197th Street in Hollis. My school was on 199th Street and 112th Avenue. So it's like probably 7 blocks.
Okay.
So to get from my house to school, it was traumatic.
In that uniform.
Yeah, because you get bullied, you get picked on, and, the public school kids, their rationale was, you wear a uniform, you go to Catholic school, your family's rich, so run it. So I got my lunch money taken. I wore glasses every day back then.
That does not help.
And that was the worst things. Could you see this 4 eyes and hit you upside your head? So to get from my house to school was traumatic. But once in school, I loved it. I was one of those kids. Love the first day of school, love new books, love the new pencil sharpener, love new pens, love brand new notebooks that haven't been written in, just the whole vibe of school. And I love to read and write. That was the whole thing. So when I was in school, it was all good. But then when the bell rang at the end of the day, it was like, oh my God, I gotta go back home. So you try to sneak back home and avoid getting bullied and picked on. And when I got back home, after I did my homework, the comic books was the world where I was perfect. The comic books, everything was all right. I was super powered. I wasn't a weakling. It was all good. And the good thing about comic books, even back then, the educators used to say there's something wrong with the kids that read comic books. Like, you're supposed to be reading, but the fact that I was reading made me a good student. And on top of that, in school, you would learn about the planets. You know what I'm saying? You have to take a test about the planets, Mercury and Mars and Saturn and Astro. But the Silver Surfer would take me there. So when it's time to do the tech, in school history, you learn about World War II. Captain America and the Red Skull taking you there. So comic books did something to me that I didn't know it was doing.
It was making you love learning.
Right. And
So-
it was making it easy.
And it was making it easy. And you got to reconnect with that in a later stage in your life.
With hip-hop. With the hip-hop.
hip-hop, yeah.
Hip-hop brought it to life. Hip-hop brought it to life. Now, here I am in this world of comic books, right? So I'm reading, writing, getting good grades, and I got a crazy imagination. Joseph Simmons comes over my house because we went to the same Catholic school. He was always in the other class. How me and Run started hanging together was I was always in the smart class. In my school, it was 1-1-1-2. 1-2 was the smarter class. 2-1-2-2. So Joe was always in the 1-1 classes, in the 1 classes. So in 8th grade, we had a basketball rim in our schoolyard, and this guy named David McEachern, he probably wasn't 7 foot, but he was a toy. He was like 7 foot to us, so he probably was like 6'8" or something like that. He dunked and broke the rim, so after school, we had nowhere to play basketball. My mother and father, to protect their little son Darryl from all the bullies and the gangbangers in the neighborhood, my father put up a basketball rim in my backyard. So after school, we would get out of school at 2:10, get to my house by 2:30, and from 2:30 to like 3:30, 4 o'clock, we played basketball in the backyard. So one particular day, Joseph was the only guy from Pascal's that came over.
Okay.
So we played basketball, and on this particular day, he wanted water. I used to go in the water, bring out the cups, give everybody some. So it was just him. The rules growing up was, what's the rules when nobody's home? Can't have any company. You know, that was my mother and father's rule. No company when I ain't home or nobody's home. So this particular day, I let Run in. He saw my brother's turntables in a mixer, and he goes, yo, my brother's Russell Simmons, Russell Rush. Before Russell was the mogul, he was a party promoter. He was one of the promoters back in the day that would take Grandmaster Flash, Africa Bambaataa, put them indoors and charge us for what we was getting free. But we had to be with this hip-hop so bad that at first it was like, you know, we going in, we hear the music, and Russell stop you at the door, up, $5. Man, I ain't giving you no $5 to see Grandmaster Flash.
This was free in the park.
But as soon as that beat dropped, here you go. So Russell was one of those guys. So to make a long story short, Joe discovered he saw my comic book collection, saw me and my brother's turntables, and we started hanging out in the basement, and he started discovering what I was writing in my black and white notebooks, which was the rhymes. But before that, how it led up to that was I'm this comic book kid, and this thing called hip-hop comes over the bridge, and the break dancers and the DJs and the MCs and the graffiti writers, it's like, oh my God, there's really super, like they were like, it was just some,
They were
the
like comic
to
book
life.
superheroes.
Right.
Wow.
Because in the comic book, it's red, the colors and the moves. So the B-boys was that, and then you had the music going on. So at that point, I was just writing rhymes pretending to be them. It was all make-believe. So what happened to me was this. I used to put my favorite blanket on my neck and pretend I was Batman and Superman. When the DJs came and the breakdancer came, all the young kids wanted to get turntables and write rhymes to pretend to be Mel and Bam and Mo. Those guys were like superheroes. So me, because of creativity, I was like, oh, this rap, it wasn't even rap, this MCing thing goes with this DJing thing that the DJs do. So I became a DJ. I became Grandmaster Get High in my basement. And I wanted to do the quick mix like Grandmaster Flash did with Good Times. Good times. Boom, boom, ba-da-ba-dum, boom, 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 boom. Good times. Good times. Good. I got real nice. So I had that. Then I discovered the MC thing went with that. So I just started writing rhymes. What happened to me was I heard Rapper's Delight. Didn't
1979.
care. Yeah, didn't care about it. Everybody wanted to learn Rapper's Delight. Then me and my brother did a comic book sale. We had this big collection of comic books, but we had a problem. We wasn't drug dealers and we wasn't stick-up kids, so we had no money. So my brother, 3 years older than me, he was like, yo, D, we got to get turntables because that's what everybody want to have. And he came into my room one day and I just saw the look on his face. I was like, no, don't say. He was like, yo, we got to sell some comic books to get 2 turntables and mixing some records. So we did this big comic book sale, brought the 2 turntables and mixing the records. So my brother, Rapper's Delight was out. So everybody's trying to be, it wasn't showbiz for me. It was just make believe. It's like the way girls play with Barbie and dudes would play with their G.I. Joes. That's what hip hop was to me. So I learned to be Flash. Then Rapper's Delight comes home. I heard Flash on a cassette tape of him live even before rap was recorded. So you know it was bugging me out. So now it's on a record. It was something about the Rapper's Delight vibe that wasn't vibe with me. So then when my brother, he brings home super rapping.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And hip hop, there was 2 types of hip hop at that stage for me. I found out there's a hip hop that's already out of the streets and in the clubs.
Mm-hmm.
The older guys, DJ Hollywood, Eddie Chiba, Pete DJ Jones, people I could
sort of
connect with.
disco kind of influenced.
Hip hop is a cousin of disco.
Mm-hmm.
Play records of people dance, have a good time. So those disco DJ rapping men, they were a little older. You know, it was the disco DJ rap, clap your hands and stomp your feet. These are men rapping. I couldn't connect with that because remember, I'm 12, 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my brother brings home this Grandmaster Flash, got the record too. But my brother puts it on and it goes, it was a party night, everybody was breaking, the highs was screaming and the bass was shaking and it won't be long till everybody knowing that Flash is on the B-box going. And I'm like, what the? Oh, then now you gotta understand, I'm going crazy. What the hell? Then it goes, introducing the crew, you gotta see to believe. When different voices, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 MCs. One guy said, I'm Mel and I rock it so well. And the next dude said, and I'm Mr. Ness, that rocks the band. And the other dude said, Raheem, and all the lay. And then this other guy go, Cowboy, and I'll make you jump for joy. And this other dude says, Creole, and all 4 of them go, Solid Gold, and he go, Creole. Then it was hooked. Then it was like, oh. That was it. I didn't want to be a DJ no more. Writing rhymes. That's
when it
what
went
I'm pretending to be.
That was when it went from superheroes to real life.
Right. And I had the skill of writing, so it was easy for me to be Easy D or the Devil's. You know, in comic books, it was the amazing description and who it is. Spider-Man, the Incredible Hulk. I'll become the devastating, mic-controlling DMC. I'll be the microphone master. I'll be the, like Thor was, I am son of Odin. I become the son of Biford, brother. So people are going back now looking at my rhymes going, yo, we always knew. Cut the head off the devil and I'll throw it under unbelieving receiver. Tretch and all of them is bugging now. They're like, oh my God. But that's where it came from. The comic books made me a superhero that made Chris Rock say, 15 years ago, Rolling Stone did an article on Run DMC. Run DMC, what's the big deal? And critics, friends, musicians, historians, whatever, everybody's saying what they liked about Run DMC. Chris Rock said, Run and Jay were cool, but DMC was my superhero. The way he looked, the way he sounded, and his delivery. And my joke was, oh my God, I've been discovered, because this is really a cover. But that was I was a shy little Catholic school kid that I never wanted to be up in front of y'all. But because I spent countless of hours in my basement, when I go to speak to kids now, I spend countless hours in my basement imagining. When I said the rhyme on Jam Master Jay, the record, We're live as can be, never singing the blues. I got to tell y'all all the good news. The good news is that there is a crew, not 5, not 4, not 3, just 2. That was just me writing a rhyme saying, I'm going to pretend by myself to battle the furriest 5, cold crush 4, and treacherous 3. And then I said, got to tell, 2 MCs who are claiming the fame and all other things won't be the same. It's about time for a brand new group. I'm just pretending to battle Mo and them. Yo, it all came true.
The imagination.
Yes.
That's where it all
So you
started.
got the power of life and death is on the tongue. Everything I ever said on a record came true.
So what do you tell? You just said you speak to kids now.
Yes.
What do you say when you speak to kids about this idea that creativity is the link to the soul? What do you tell them? What do you tell kids now?
I tell them, most of the kids, I say, you thought of something that you want to be, it's done. But you got to go through the process. And you got to meet the right people. Whatever you're thinking, whatever you want already exists, but how are you going to get to it? I tell kids, oh, the girls, oh, so you want to sing like Rihanna and Beyonce, but you too cool to join the Glee Club. Oh, you want to rap and you want to play this, but you don't want to go play in the church, sing in the church choir, or play in the school band. Everybody who ever dominated anything started with all the corny, uncool stuff that y'all think ain't the thing to do. That's why young people ain't getting nowhere. Like, in even the early days when I was growing up, if Hector had violin practice on Sunday, yo, Hector, go to your practice, man, we'll be in. Nowadays, it's, yo, why, man, don't go to, let's go play PlayStation. I tell kids, I tell the girls, the mall is not going to go nowhere. Handle your business, young lady. Your friend comes over, PlayStation. You tell them, sit down, let me do my homework. I tell them, your school wasn't put in your life. He said, you're probably right. You'll never answer that question or do that math equation again. It's not about the question or the equation. It's about the thing you use to answer that. You're going to need that later, but they didn't see that. Hip-hop empowered young people with nothing to figure it out. And it all came through a creative presentation. And what I mean by that, the separation of what is good for y'all is so bad in America right now, because your success in hip-hop is judged as a success, how well you can be negative. You know what I'm saying?
That's
as
the
long
thing.
as you're negative and making money, oh, he's successful, we should be saying, nah, man.
Is that something you've seen change over the years?
Yes, it definitely changed over the years. It changed when creativity got easy. And when it
What do you
gets...
mean by that?
I'm DMC. And when I saw Chuck said this, there was a generation of young people standing there when Rakim opened his mouth. You said to yourself, I cannot do that. But he inspired you so much that you said, man, let me figure out what I could do. Hip-hop didn't just create rappers. Created journalists such as yourselves. You know what I'm saying? Writers, educators, teachers, designers, directors. Now, the end-all be-all with hip-hop is a successful rapper. How much money he got, what record he, who he's dating. Which is disrespectful to the whole purpose of the culture. Like when you first came, when I first saw hip hop, there was dudes that was like, I don't know nothing about music and electronics and wires and this and that. Hip hop doesn't discriminate. That's okay. What do you know? I can write some poetry. We put that poetry with that music those dudes was playing, created a whole art form. And we still didn't exclude you on your lack of ability, because everybody has an ability that can be productive and profitable too. It was like, okay, some dudes was like, I can't even read and write. Dear hip hop, I can't read and write, and I don't understand what's going on. But what happens when you hear that music and them poets say, my feet start moving, I feel like spinning on your head. Innovation. Yo, we ain't got no budgets. We don't got the resources to build our own discos. We need a dance floor. What did some young dude? Yo, go cut that box up right there. Dance floor. And we started dancing, and that bled somewhere. Now you got guys dancing, guys writing, guys doing music. One person was, I don't know nothing about that, but I got these markers and these spray cans. And until somebody put value on it, before, throw them in jail, because it's wrong to write on property you don't own. But the day somebody said, Mr. Mayor, that's art, changed the lives of so many individuals. And that's how it is with it now. These guys right now shooting each other, Chicago, Camden, Patterson, where I'm I tell people we got to create hip hop again. What do you mean? Put some value on this guy's life. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you shouldn't be shooting and selling drugs, man. What do I need to do? Man, you really know how to play that flute. Let's send them to school. So the kids don't know, man. You mean I could play at Carnegie Hall? I could play with the Boston Philharmonic. I can't even say the word. I could play with the Boston Philharmonic Orchestra and travel the world and go to Russia and Toronto and Japan and step on stage at Carnegie Hall and fly on jets and sleep in the same hotels as Rihanna. Yes. Our information with hip hop is wrong. And that's the only thing that made me successful. When I came along, I never was in a gang. I ain't sell no drugs. I'm DMC, in the place to be. I go to, and I was serious about it. I love school. Made dudes hear me and say, school is cool. Dudes told me I dropped out the gang just because you said it, DMC. Because if you wouldn't have said it, I wouldn't have known it's there. Right now, the monotony, I mean, there's a lot of great, Kendrick is great and all of that, but there's a million more people better than Kendrick that should be on these playlists on these stations, you know what I'm saying? Dealing with social issues and politics and science and education. The Disco 4, Greg G from the Disco 4, who runs the Rucker basketball tournament, he was a member of the Disco 4. I'm a little kid. After I heard Super Rap, and Disco 4 did a record that went like this. Talking to the people who go to school, trying to learn the golden rule about science, mathematics, and history, all working for it. They talked about things that made dudes, that's where now hip-hop is like, you need tattoos, a posse, a gun, and a Lamborghini that's not licensed.
What's it like for you looking at hip-hop from your vantage point? You have a unique vantage point. DMC, you are the first generation of rappers.
We've seen it all come and go.
You've seen it all.
Chuck says that to me.
So what's it like for you looking at it from your vantage point?
I could never critique another person's creativity. If I do critique your stuff, I always tell kids, now I'm 50 years old. I'm not judging this from being 50. I judge everything in my hip-hop from 12 to 25 years old because that's the power. That's the transformative thing. Now, that being said, here's how I look at hip-hop. I don't want it to be better. I don't want it to be like it was when I was in the generation, when I was Drake and when I was Young Thug and when I was Lil Wayne. I want it to be better than it because it can be. Because it can. Nobody is going the extra steps to take a responsibility. You know what I'm saying? If you make a record about a gun, in hip-hop, it's different from other forms of entertainment. You gotta make a record about not really using the gun. You know what I'm saying? Because if you just keep it one-sided, everything that makes you successful is what they think they're gonna be successful. I don't want hip-hop to be judged by how good bars you spit. They bucked it up. No, I want it to be, what did you create? What did you write? What did you produce? Who did you educate? Whose life did you save? What did you color? What did you paint? Did you cook something? Did you create? Did you start a cupcake cup?
A whole different set of values. Right. What did you contribute? What did you contribute?
Yeah. Because when they asked Ice Cube this was probably 20 years ago. Ice Cube, what was so good about, why is that era of Run DMC, NWE, Eric B. and Rakim, De La Soul, Public Enemy, Coogee Rapping Polo, Tribe Called Quest,
the golden era.
Golden era. He said the golden era is golden because we all came from the same street corners, but we all rep something different. So when you came to a rap show, you didn't see 5 groups sounding alike from the same block talking about the same thing. Even when Run DMC was Kings. You know why our presentation was so powerful? Forget Raising Hell. That came later. The Fresh Fest was the first big tours we did. It was Run DMC, Fat Boys, Curtis Blow. Jermaine Dupri was a little Jerry curled hair dancer coming out opening the show. Why do you think he was so powerful when he started his company? Because he was up under watching Run Kurt. He had diversity to build him. That's why he was successful. He wasn't a one-hit wonder. He had 808 drums. He's from Atlanta, but he had that New York Bronx backbeat with him, and he ain't have one corny artist. You had to spit. I don't want no curse word right there. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be like it was when I was younger. I want it to be better because it can be.
And it should be creative and it should be fresh like that.
Right. And speaking on that, the only reason why it was potent in my generation wasn't because somebody was telling us to do it. What happened was this. The message, Rapper's Delight came out. Then the message came out. Then Planet Rock came out. Right then and there, you got 3 diverse flows, lyrics, sounds, and presentations. Then the breaks came out. Then Running Them came with It's Like That, Suck 'Em See. We took it down a little bit. Then LL came out, my radio, and then LL looked and said, okay, Running Them doing rock, PE doing consciousness, Cash One spitting that, they doing that. He stepped to the mic, and all the dudes, I'm talking about the hardest dudes in the game, he stepped to the mic and said, when I'm alone in my room staring at and nobody said that sissy stuff. Oh, yo, he killing with that. But it made us all go back home and sit down and say, we got creative. Our competition and our desire to be great made us delve into innovation. I got to do what L and PE and when Run DMC made Raising Hell, the reason why that album is the perfect rap album because we had Chuck to the left, Karis One to the right, Cool G Rap over there. They were coming at us.
And it made you say, I can't try to copy their formula for success.
Right. I could never rhyme like them do right.
I need to innovate.
Pete Rock hates when I say this. After Down with the King came out, Pete Rock literally saved Run DMC's career with Down with the King. People were giving respect, but we dropped that record in the 90s and people started bowing and said, yes, it is true. These guys are the king. So thank you. He hates when I say it, but it's true. We'd have been over. That was the single on the record. That was the video on the record. We did records with Q-Tip, EPMD, records didn't mean nothing. That record dropped and Pete Rock said, yo, y'all ain't got to do nothing except do what y'all do. Me and CL got y'all. And they, reworked our lyrics or whatever.
Still sounds dope.
So that record put us back out there everywhere. The money was better. The success was better. People were called, come to Canada, come to Europe, come to Russia, whatever. Right at that time, everything was good, but I got depressed. And I got more depressed. The more successful I got depressed. Everybody was trying to figure out, how in the world could you get DMC, King of Rock, first to go gold, first to go platinum, first to the cover of rock? How in the world? I didn't know what it was. It was just this funny feeling in me, this void in me. It was killing me. It was crazy. I didn't know what it was. I would come off stage every night and just lay in my hotel room, at the JW Marriott, the Four Seasons. Like, what? I didn't know what it was. So I'm going through this long depression, and I get to the point where depression is funny because you get to the point where you just don't want to live with it no more. Now, I wanted to commit suicide because of this depressive feelings, but the reason why I wanted to commit suicide is really stupid. I'm touring with Run. This is when before Jay got shot and killed. Mm-hmm. So we tour, and I come home, and somebody tells me about this guy called Deepak Chopra. So I go to the bookstore and I buy all these Deepak Chopra books, The Meaning of Life, whatever. While in the bookstore section where he's at is the metaphysical section. So I'm getting Eastern philosophy, Asian, Buddhist, Indian. I'm reading all these philosophy books now. The whole suicide thing was enhanced because I came to this conclusion because of metaphysical books and Deepak Chopra. The purpose for which I was put here has been accomplished. I'm DMC, the king. It's dumb. It's written in the books. You can never take it from me. So I don't want to wait till I'm 90 or 100 to die. I want to speed this up a little bit more now. So I went through those things of thinking about jumping off of roofs and drinking the poison, all of that. So then I was caught myself like, something's really matter with me because why am I thinking of it? But then I said, just in case I do die tomorrow, people know the DMC story. They know what me and Run did, Russell, his brother, my Adidas, all of that stuff. But nobody knows about the little boy Darryl, who's just a normal MFer like all y'all out there. I'm a normal boy who grew up in Nassau Creek. If I die tomorrow, people need to know that story. So this is in the year 2000. Up to that, I was just a metaphysical, alcoholic, suicidal, spiritual wreck. So I say, okay, if I die tomorrow, people need to know my story. I call my mother up, and I go, yo, Mom, I'm going to write this book, and I need to know 3 things about the day I was born. I know my birthday is May 31st, 1964. I just want to know how much did I weigh, what hospital, what time. She told me those 3 things. Thank you, love you, hung up the phone. Hour goes by, she calls back with my father. Hey, hi, Darryl. Hey, son, how you doing? We have something else to tell you. Okay, shoot. Well, you was a month old when we brought you home and you're adopted, but we love you, bye. So that's how I found out, over the phone. So right then and there, my soul goes, I'm really going to kill myself now because I'm not even Byford and Banners or whatever. But then this peace came over me. DMC, Run DMC, Jay's my friend, Run's my friend, this Run DMC thing. Byford and Banners my mother, Alfred's my brother. St. John's University put the first record out, first to go gold, first to go platinum, first to... Everything up to that point is part of who I am. There was a missing piece to my identity. A missing truth that was a mystery. When she said those words, adopted, even though it was traumatic, it filled the void. Adopted, adopted, adopted. It was like, Indiana Jones, put the piece fit. Now, right after that, I was like, all right, what I'm going through, because I'm this musician DMC guy, there's probably a lot of people that feel like me. I got an idea. I'm gonna make a record about my situation. Now, before that, 3 years prior to that, when I was into my depression, I didn't know how things worked. My manager, Eric, who was Run DMC's manager at the time, he takes me to Clive Davis' Grammy party in L.A., and I'm sitting there. And in 1997, Sarah McLachlan had put out that record, Angel. When I first heard the record Angel in the back of a limousine,
on the way to this party?
No, that came later.
Oh, this is later, yeah.
Right. I'm on the road doing when I first going through, Down with the King comes out, 93, from 93 to 96, everything's good. Now I'm depressed. Watch it, everything's like back to where it was at. In 96 and 97, I get in the back of this car, and the driver says to me, yo, DMC, you want to turn the radio on? And I was like, yeah, whatever. I ain't care about nothing. He turns it on to Hot 97 in New York. And that was the last thing I wanted to hear was some rap guys, right? So I said, anything but that channel. He turns it to Light FM. And the song, in the arms of an angel, fly away. And something in that song said deep down in me, D, I know you're going through a lot, but it's good to be alive. So for 1 whole year, all I listened to was Sarah McLachlan records. At the end of that year, my manager and my publicist trying to, D's bugging out. He really might kill himself, so keep him busy. He takes me to Clive Davis' Grammy party. And I'm sitting at the door. Busta Rhymes walks in, shows me love. Alicia Keys walks in, shows me love. Stevie Wonder walks in, shows me love. Who walks in next? That lady who made that record that makes me feel so good. I get up, I walk over to her, and I go, Miss McLachlan. She sees me coming. She goes, it's tricky to rock around my Adidas. Walk there. Hits the B-boy stance. And in my head, I'm like, CD, even Sarah McLachlan likes your music. It's a good reason to stay alive. So I just go, Miss McLachlan, I just want to tell you, the name of the record is Angel. You sound like an angel. People say you're an angel, but you're not an angel to me. You're God. Every day I listen to your music. I went out and brought your whole catalog, everything you made up to that day. This and I don't leave my house without it. When I travel, I listen to that record, this and that. And so I finish. And she just looks at me. She says, thank you, Darryl. Thank you for telling me that, because that's what music is supposed to do. Shakes my hand, walks away. 3 years go by, it's 2000, I found out that I'm adopted. I'm gonna make this record. Now, when I was a little kid, growing up in Hollis, Queens, New York, I didn't care nothing about afros, Black Power, James Brown, Say It Loud, high heels, and bell bottoms. For some reason, back in the 70s, FM radio, the station would play Sly and the Family Stone, James Brown, the Jackson 5, but they also would play the Doobie Brothers and Harry Chapin and Jim Croce and Bob Dylan and the Rolling Stones and Creedence Clearwater. Radio was classic
open format like that.
Yeah, it was an open format like that. For some reason, it was just something about the folk rock records, the rock records, and this record called Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chapin. Down, 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 down. The child is born just the other day, came into the world. Ever since I was a kid, it was something about that record. So I'm going through these. I'm going to take my story and do a remake of Eric, get Sarah McLachlan on the phone. Get the lady whose record saved my life so I can use her to help me do what she did. So make a long story short, I called Sarah McLachlan up. This is 3 years after I met her. I get on the phone and, hey, Miss McLachlan, remember me? And she says, I love her. She's funny. She goes, how could I forget you? You called me God. What is it? And I go, well, remember when I saw you and I told you what your record did to me? She was like, yeah. Well, I just found out that I was adopted, and I want to make a record that speaks to people, feel just like me, whatever. Will you do this record with me? It was the easiest thing in the world. No agents, no manager, no label headache. Yeah, D, come to my house in Vancouver, Canada, and we can make the record at her home studio. So I'm a fan by now. I always tell her, the joke is I faint. I wake up, I'm in Vancouver, Canada. We record the record. It takes us 2 days. Now, remember, I get in the car. I hear a record. A year goes by. I go to a party I didn't want to go to. She happens to be there. I get to meet her. She says that's what music is supposed to do. That was 97. 2000, I found out that I'm adopted. I call her back up to make a record so I could do what her record did to me for some other people. Took us 2 days to record the record. Now I know why she asked me to her house. Before I left, she was like, Darryl, before you go, I got to tell you something. I don't know what. She goes, I was adopted too, and I did not know that. So she could have told me over the phone. So everything started to make sense, but It still wasn't over. I did the record. That was cool. I did the record, and this first solo album I did wasn't me trying to be commercial or relevant. I actually thought I was going to die. If you go listen to the DMC Check Stugs and Rock and Roll album, it's very dark. I was drunk during the whole making of that album, and I didn't know. Your spirit is funny. I went to Japan to do 2 days of press. And first day was 25 interviews. The next day was 25 interviews. I got to interview number 50. And the Asian female journalist says to me when she sits down, are you okay? I'm drinking still. Yeah, I'm great. I got an album came out. I met Sarah McLachlan. I found out that what could be the problem? And she holds up Check Stugs and Rock and Roll and says, very dark. And then my whole spirit just went down like that. And I went back and listened to that record. That's where I was at that time. Now, when I did the Sarah McLachlan record, right after that, when Jay looked at me and said, yo, D, you know what? You might be Dominican. You look like Jay gets shot and killed. Then my father, Byford, son of Byford, brother of Al. Banner's my mother and runs my Byford dies of liver cancer complicated by diabetes. So my life was completely torn. I said, yo, this is getting crazy. I happened to meet another adopted person. And just by being in the room with another adopted person, I didn't feel alone again. And this adopted person said, D, are you curious? Curious about what? Are you curious about to see where it all began? Because up until that point, everything the world knew about me was all I knew about me. I thought it all started in Hollis, Queens, New York. It didn't start there, so she convinces me to do the search for my birth mother. I found my birth mother. I found out that I was born in Harlem. That's why I took 3 trains and 2 buses to go to Rice High School on 124th Street instead of going to Andrew Jackson, Whitmore, and Jay. For 4 years I did that, but friends in Rice would say, Darryl, why in the hell do you come all the way here, 3 trains and 2 buses to Rice High School? I thought it was just because I was smart. No, I went to school on 124th and I was born on 135th. When I got to Rice High School, this is what happened. Me and Run we was playing basketball, and Rappers Delight, super rapping, all of that's going down. Jimmy Spike, the rap record thing. When I got to Rice High School in 9th grade, this guy named Terrence Washington, he introduced me to something that I never knew existed. There was a hip hop before records. Yeah. Not that was done in the park. Cold Crush 4, Charlie Chase and Tony Tone versus the Fantastic Five at Hollywood, the Funky 4+, Melly Mel.
So you were introduced to all this stuff in high school.
High school. When I graduated high school, I'm spending 4 years with the real hip hop. People don't know. People think Mel just made the message. People bug out when I say, yo, Melly Mel, Moldy, Grandmaster Cash, Funky 4+, all rhymed like Run DMC. But I said it on my Adidas. We took the beat from the street and put it on TV. When I went to Rice High School, and Joe knew this kid Darryl's creative, and he told me in 9th grade, I thought he was speaking another language. And it went like this. When Russell lets me make a record, I'm putting you in my group. He said that to me in 9th grade over potato chips and peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I looked at him and said in the back of my mind, what the hell are you talking about? I went to Rice High School, made it to St. John's University. Russell let Run make the record. I'm calling that dude Darryl McDaniels because he's creative as a mother. He calls me up. So when it was time for me to go record It's Like That was going to go like this. Unemployment. Larry Smith was our producer. He was producing Curtis Blow. Russell was a big Hollywood fan.
Mm-hmm.
The oldest, because Russell was older than us. I walked in Larry Smith's, It's Like That went like this. Unemployment at a record high. People going, people coming, people born to die. Don't ask me, because I don't know why, but it's like that. Then I was supposed to go, people in the world trying to make ends meet. Trouble by car. Now I'm sitting here with my 40 ounce. I'm glad I've been sober. Drinking had a lot in this too. I'm sitting here with my 40 ounce and I'm like, oh, hell no. We got to rock this like Bam and them did on them tapes. I said, Larry, did you hear Planet Rock? Did you hear the Soul Sonic Force, Mr. Biggs, Pow Wow and MC Glow? We emphasize to show we got ego. You heard what I just did? That's Planet Rock from 1982, better than 99% of all these rappers out now. So I brought that to that, but my creativity and all of that led up to that. So when Run put me to record, I thought I was worthless. I thought DMC, I became the king of rock. That was it. No, what I'm trying to say was Sarah McLachlan's song is the theme song of me really beginning to live life. Now DMC was just the setup. Now I'm really doing why I became DMC, and it's unfortunate that it had to happen with me finding out that I'm adopted, me losing my voice, Run saying I'm F out of here, Jay getting killed, my father dying, now I'm all alone. And it goes back to what we started taking. Here I'm all alone with nothing, not realizing I got everything that I need. So what I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to do is come out here, make some new records, not trying to do what I used to do, but my whole career was always, D, we're doing a Christmas record. I didn't rhyme about Santa Claus and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Rhyme about the only thing that I really knew. It's Christmas time in Hollis, Queens. Mom's in the kitchen cooking coffee. D, you got to get, when I made It's Like That with Run, I was only supposed to record It's Like That with Run. Russell wasn't going to let me tour with him. The whole plan was, Run went to Russell and said, I got to have Darryl McDaniels on this record. Darryl McDaniels is not a rapper. He don't even got a voice. Russell hated everything about me. Run said this. I love Run, though. He said this. If you don't let Darryl make this record with me, I'm holding my breath till I turn blue. So Russell was like, I don't care. Run starting to turn green. I still don't care. Run starting to turn... All right, y'all, later. So the plan was D, because D could write. Russell said, this guy Darryl can write. So I helped Run write It's Like That. We made It's Like That. Originally, it was going to be DJ Run and the OK Crew. It was going to be Run with a white lady DJ from England who had a pantomime breakdancer. Run came to me crying, D, I really don't want to be alone, and I definitely don't want to. You got to go there and impress Russell. When I graduated Rice High School in August, not for the record, because it's what you do as a kid and being crazy. I just wrote a rhyme. I'm DMC in the place. I'm on my way to St. John's University. Joe calls and says, you got to make this record. We going to make It's Like That. Joe already had, that's why I come on with one rhyme at the end of the record. Joe had his 3 verses. He's going to make this record called Suck MC. D, you got to go in at the end of this record and impress Russell. So I went in there. And I was like, what do you want me to say? Sucker he said, no, D, just say something. I'm going to say my new rhyme. I'm DMC. And when I came out the booth, who was my best friend to this day, Russell. Everywhere I went, D, say the rhyme, say the rhyme. So everything is starting to make sense right now, man.
That's amazing because you're tracing your roots back to Harlem, where you ended up going to high school, encountering hip-hop. You're kind of finding your own comic book origin story throughout all.
It's crazy.
Which is absolutely amazing.
Spider-Man grew up in Queens. Spider-Man was adopted by Aunt May. Wow. Batman was adopted. So how the comic book came about was, so I'm living this superhero lifestyle. Chris Rock says that, so I'm just going on trying to just do what I do and live my life, and everybody want to come and ask DMC because he is one of the elder statesmen of hip-hop. Pac died, they want to know what you think. DMC, Biggie died, homophobia in rap, and this, and I just keep it real and just say, this is what I think it is, because like you said, I've been there. I saw gangster rap, I saw Hammer, I saw Vanilla Ice, I've seen everything, and I'm fortunate to be here, you know what I'm saying? And the comic book came about like this. I actually went to a meeting with a I was helping my manager's brother shop this rapper. So if my manager brother calls, they'll never get a meeting. There's no A&R no more, labels. And my thing, you could actually make a demo and make an appointment at Atlantic Records and sit in there like it's the dentist office and go in and play and they sign you.
It's not like that anymore.
So make a long story short, I go to meet with Riggs Morales, who was Eminem's right-hand man for Shady Records, all for the rise of that global nomination. So I go in and he's the head guy up there and he's like, yo, D, I usually keep it real professional. But look, I got a fan out right now because you guys are like my superhero, this and that. And he just asked me the question, D, what was it like when you was young? And I was like, well, I was a Catholic school kid who all I did was read and draw comic books. When I said the word comic books, the heavens opened up. They started blowing the trumpets and the angels came down. We sat there for 2 hours and started talking about comic books. And he was like, wow, I did not know that. And then I said, yo, all the Easter eggs was there. When I did King of Rock, Run, who is Run? He is that guy from Crush Groove, the movie. So Run knew I'm going to be the best DJ. I'm going to be better than Curtis Blow. I'm going to be better than Rappers Delight. Russell, I'm going to get paid. Because Run was 12 years old seeing Russell
with all these
promote,
great DJs, yeah.
then manage, and then start labels. So Run, he saw that, so he knew he needed me because he could use that for his success or whatever. So on that record, Run goes, I'm DJ Run, I could scratch on King of Rock. I don't say I'm DMC, I could rap. I say I'm DMC, I could draw. I was still just little Darryl. You know what I'm saying? It was just bugging me out.
So it was always there, the comic book thing.
Right.
But he
King
identified it.
Crash through walls, come through floors, bust through ceilings, and knock down doors. And when we're on the tape, that's all Run knew. This guy's cold crushed by himself. You know what I'm saying? So the comic books came about like this. He was like, yo, D, you ever think about doing a comic book? And I was like, nah, not really, because I don't want to be another rapper just because I was successful with a record trying to ruin some other genre. He said, no, D, think about it like this. He said, you, along with your two boys, what happened when you put hip-hop with rock and roll? Rockbox, yeah, King of Rock, then the Walk This Way, Aerosmith, right? And he said it was good. He said, what happened when you, with your boys, took hip-hop and did a song about some sneakers? Changed sneaker culture, put it on the map, gave it a foundation to announce to the world that this is a number. And it was good, right? He said the only thing that could happen if DMC or Run DMC do a comic book that about the part of his life that he loves is something good. But then he said this. He said, don't do it as DMC. He said, do it as little Darryl McDaniels, the kid that loved comic books before he was DMC. And I was like, now it's fun. Now I'm just in my room thinking of comic book stories. I'm at this point in my life, I'm 51 years old, and I'm still playing with my army men in coloring books.
That is a beautiful thing. Creativity going 360 like that.
That's what's happening.
Thank you very much.